Hey guys, so today I am going to do my own favorite meal prep and tutorial how to do it, how I prepare my favorite meal, kind of in collaboration with the video we did a few days ago. We did one that was Lysol's favorite meal video on trail, kind of a DIY and the differences we have. So I've got some of the stuff here. I'm going to do this inside a little bit different than how he did his, but there's a little bit more step involvement with this one, I think. Um, so I wanted to do this, still pack it the same way. I'm still going to prepare it in the same way and show you how I do it on trail, but have a little bit better shot of it inside, getting a little bit more in depth with the actual, like, how much it cost, calorie count, and how much time you should be doing boiling and how much time you should be putting in stuff. So without further ado, this is my favorite spin-off of the ramen bomb. This is kind of a, I call it the Vietnamese ramen bomb style, but my spin-off on the traditional spam ramen bomb that most people do. This is a little bit different, so I'm going to go through the steps and show you guys how I make it. So the beauty of the ramen bomb to me is that you can kind of pick and choose what ingredients you want to put in, depending on how much you really want. If you're someone who likes more, instant mashed potatoes, or someone who likes more vegetables, so you can really add to your preference, or if you have different types of meat, how much meat you want in your actual ramen bomb itself. For this though, I've got these laid out just how I prepare this one specifically. So like I said, you can adapt and change things if you want, more mashed potatoes, more vegetables, more meat, whatever that may be. But for this, there are a couple things I wanted to go over that are important. As a base, I start with like an Asian style. I'll go to the local Asian market where I live and pick up some sort of shrimp flavored ramen, whether that be, it doesn't necessarily have to be this brand. I like the seasoning in this one specifically. I don't know where to find this or anything like that. I know it was 59 cents or something, but the important things with this is really to get obviously the seasoning right, but a lot of these, not all of them, but a lot of these ramen packets come with their own type of oil, whether it's virgin olive oil or in this case sesame seed oil. I think that really adds good flavor to it. Some people, you can add in your own olive oil if you want, but I just happen to find this brand that has sesame seed oil with it. I really like that touch to it. I think it makes it taste a lot better versus not having this stuff. I've tried it without the oil and it's not as good to me, at least. And of course, I'll include with any type of Asian styled ramen, anything, some sriracha for extra flavor with that. I actually just stick these three sachets in with the mashed potatoes and the noodles itself. I kind of crushed up the noodles, put them in this is a quart freezer Ziploc bag, and just kind of crunch them up together. Make things a little bit easier when you're eating. Now you can also pick a Idaho mashed potato instant that your flavor, whatever you like. I typically with this like the butter and herb, but they're $1 and you can get a lot of different flavors. I also like the sour cream and chive one too, but in this case I'll kind of keep the flavor profile a little simple. Butter and herb makes it work a lot better to me. The ingredients though for the seasoning and the oil will all sit inside of this main packet. I do like to, in this case, and this is another one of those kind of important steps that I found out, I separate and cook the meat, in this case freeze-dried shrimp from Dutchware, about 6, maybe 5 individual shrimp, and again, this is a quart freezer Ziploc bag too, these all are. I will separate and cook separately the vegetables that I'll have and the freeze-dried shrimp. I think the Karen's Natural Just Veggies is a little expensive. I like to put about 28 grams worth of just a vegetable mix, peas, carrots, corn, that kind of thing, just inside of a bag. Something that I can kind of roll up a little bit easier. If I get too much, it becomes a little bit of a mess or harder to pack. So I'll put about 28 grams in. That's not a ton of a caloric value, but about 50 calories, something like that with this amount. And then I was actually able to find, not on their website, which is okay, but I was able to find that the shrimp itself, this is about, I think it was, I think 18 to 20 calories for, it's like 230 calories per 3 ounce, and this is a quarter of an ounce. It's not, I don't even know if it's that much. It's not a lot of caloric value, but this is the real flavor tasting kicker here. Dutchware sells these in a pack just like this. It's $3.50. game changer for sure with this. So yeah, I'll put all the packets together inside of the pack with the potatoes and the ramen, and then these will go in that same bag, but I'll put separately the vegetables and separately the shrimp, and I'll kind of go into why that's important later on. So let me get the water boiling. I'll be right back. Okay, so to start, I am going to fill up my pot with 500 milliliters of water. You're going to be filling up multiple bags full of water, so a lot is good on this case. Or right there, about quite a bit. Oops. What I do like to do is get everything to the side ready, because there's a little bit of a process to this. I like to get the noodles and potatoes done first, and then keep my pot cozy by my side, because I'm going to be soaking those before I soak the vegetables and the shrimp. Once everything's added together and this starts boiling over, I'll be back to show you the process that I use to get them all set up. All right, so that is boiling over. I'll do first is, and I usually pour not half of it, but quite a bit into the ramen noodle and mashed potato mix. Kind of want to eyeball this to make sure that you've got enough in there, which that looks very, very good. Right now, I used about 200 milliliters right there. I will close the bag up, get most of the air out of it, and set that in my pot koozie. Then, what I will do is wait, kind of time this. I want to add the rest of the ingredients in about, I would say, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So periodically, I like to check, make sure this is kind of being kneaded. Get the mashed potatoes rehydrated. Get that going. It's about 3 minutes now, so I'm going to stick this back into the koozie. I left my stove on just a little bit, lowest heat setting I could probably get on it, just to make sure that it keeping the water warm. So I really don't like to mix the water that's in this package specifically with the rest of everything. So I'm going to put a little bit of water with the shrimp, enough so that it's just covering the line above the shrimp. keep them hydrating. And I'm actually going to drain this out, but yeah, it tastes terrible if you have the water, and obviously hence the point of putting them in separate bags. So you don't really need to knead these. Kind of just sit on top there. But I do like to get most of the air out, so I can stick these on top of the noodles and then keep that warm going. The vegetables I won't put near as much in. I'll put a little bit more in. These seem pretty easy to rehydrate. So, and this is about the end of my 500 milliliters, so that seems to be about the right number. So we're about done with the water there. And sort of the chef's secret here is to get everything done by about the 5-minute mark, because I will wait. I might actually want to put the vegetables on top. I will wait until 10 minutes for everything to rehydrate and cook. So I generally like to, every couple minutes or so check on this stuff, make sure that the water is getting to all the ingredients, and making sure that especially the noodles and the mashed potatoes dehydrated. Generally at this point, this is kind of what you want to see. Most of the water's gone. There's no standing water in this bag anymore. We are going to add, because this is still a little bit dry, a little bit of the vegetable water with it. I'm going to use my large trash bag to drain some of these out, because obviously you don't have a sink in the woods, but the reason I only put about 200 milliliters of water in this is because I am going to use some of the water that was put into the vegetables and put that into this bag too for the full meal together. So this looks good though. I'm going to put this back down, keep it warm. And the one thing I've noticed with like the vegetables are pretty instant. I don't know that, I think these are actually pretty much done. The one thing I noticed though about the shrimp is that you can really feel it tenderizing as soon as it gets like closer to being finished. So I'm gonna leave those in there, and these actually feel pretty good right now. Wait about another minute, maybe a minute and a half, and we'll come back and put the ingredients in for the seasoning and oil and sriracha and all that. Okay, so this has gone for a little bit more than I normally would time this for, but at the what is it now, 11-minute mark, everything looks pretty good. The shrimp feels really tender still, but definitely good to go. These are all pre-cooked anyways, so there's not really like a like where with beef you would really want to get lean beef and make sure there's no fat in it and there's time for it to spoil. The shrimp is really nice because it really doesn't have that type of life expectancy. So these really good flavor. They dehydrate very well. I like these a lot, especially with this type of meal. Vegetables are ready to go. I don't want mashed peas, so this there. So I'm going to make this all in the pot koozie, mixing it and all that. I'll open the bag here, and I will put in the sriracha packet. I will put in the sesame oil. And then seasoning packet. Okay, so a lot of most people I think carry some sort of trash bag, of course, for all their trash for their food. Because this is draining a little bit of water back, and you may not want this at camp, I'll always either carry a separate bag just for this, draining the shrimp and draining the vegetables, or I will put this in my trash bag if it's like a one-night or multi-night thing where it's not going to be too much, because water obviously weighs a lot, so we don't want to carry too much of that. So for the shrimp, I'll drain all the water out. I don't want any of that into my actual bag with the noodles. Plop that in there. And because, like I was saying, that there's a little bit of moisture still on the shrimp itself, but I go a little light on the water for the noodles and the potatoes, because I'm going to use a little bit of water from the vegetable bag. Still draining most of that out, and there'll be a lot of moisture on the vegetables too. So if you put in like the normal right amount for what you would normally do for mashed potatoes with noodles, it tends to be a little bit waterlogged when you go to put in the shrimp and the vegetables, at least for this meal, because these carry and hold a lot of moisture still. So all the vegetables in. And that's pretty much it. Oops. Most of this stuff's already cooked, but I do like to give a couple minutes on the on the mixing part. Like to get as much air out as possible. So you're going to need this quite a bit. You're going to want to get everything together. And I usually spend, gosh, maybe a minute on just this part. I'm going to keep doing this for, I'd say about maybe a minute, and then we'll plate this thing. So generally I would bring this on trail and eat this right out of the pot cozy, but I figured because this is so good that someone else needed to try it. So this is not the glamorous part of this, but the taste is.
That looks pretty thick.
Well, it's like a casserole.
Okay. Tastes better than it looks.
That's the point. So thank you guys for watching that. I had a lot of fun doing this. There was a full list of the ingredients that I had with this down below. I've got the kind of, I guess, recipe list that I'm going to include about how much it costs and the individual calories of each item. If you guys want to, change your own or do your own different amounts of the ingredients that I have here. The nice thing about this kind of stuff is that, of course, it's totally customizable to how you guys want to set up your own. Whether that's more vegetables, less vegetables, more meat, here or there. So I'm going to include the recipe list that I have in this, and like I said, if there's any other of your own individual recipes that you have on this type of thing, I know the ramen bomb is a super common thing, and I want my own, I guess, Vietnamese style of that. I really enjoyed doing this, and thank you to my fiance, who's laughing over there currently in the corner, for trying my food and trying to put up with my obsession with cooking outdoors. Thanks for watching.